Hi there, I'm Dr. Cher, and I'm here today. We're going to talk about the fourth most common mistake that I see that people make when they are trying to lose weight. If you've been following these videos, I've been doing a series of them over this month in January, and to help people who are setting resolutions, New Year's resolutions, which is very common, to lose weight. We've addressed the first three most common mistakes, right? The first one was not having a deep enough, powerful enough motivation, your why as to why you want to lose weight. The second one was not having a clear-cut plan and a plan that's right for you. And the third one was not creating the routines that eventually will become habits to help you stay on track on your journey towards reaching your weight loss goal. So today, the fourth most common mistake I see is that people do not have strategies in place to deal with setbacks, because setbacks often can be part of the journey. What do I mean by a setback? A setback could be you're doing everything you think you need to do to lose weight, and it's plateauing, you're not getting results. It could be maybe you're going up, or the other one is more of a mindset standpoint, that you're not really fully committing to the eating that you need to do and all the strategies that you need to do to stay on track, and you're going way off track on things that you're doing. So any of those I would view as a setback. Now the important thing is that can be part of the journey. It's just recognizing what's causing the setback, and then being able to put it into the appropriate strategies into place to make the course correction, as I call it. So one of the principles of weight loss is having a method for course correction. So if we look at this applies also to when you're losing weight, but also just when you're getting into maintenance, particularly in the earlier stages of maintenance, because it is a bit of a different mindset. But all the principles still apply, the same principles. So, but for the purposes of this, let's focus mostly on when people are trying to lose weight. And there's two areas that can come into play when you're trying to lose weight, where there could be a course correction could be required, where the people will experience a setback. One is in the body, and the other one's in the mind. So with the body setback, meaning there's something that your body is going on with your body, and that's why you've had a setback. And again, this setback could simply be more common, like just suddenly you're just not losing weight. You're doing everything you need to do, as far as you can tell, to lose weight. And maybe you were making progress and then it stops. So, and it can also be potentially gaining. That's a bit unusual, but it's more just stops. So from a body standpoint, things you need to recognize, it's not just about the food you're eating, and there are other factors that can affect your weight and your progress. And so it's being able to kind of just take a step back and analyze it, get more analytical. Sometimes people with a setback can really mentally throw them off, and emotionally, and they feel very discouraged, and they think, oh, I'm doing everything, and they just want to give up, or they do give up for a few days. So just to try and quiet that inner voice that may be, talking you into giving up, and use sort of that more analytical part of your brain to say, okay, there's a reason for this. There's always a reason. It's just figuring it out. And this is what I do with my clients. And sometimes this happens. I'll give you a specific example in a minute. But with the body, first of all, sometimes the body gets used to a certain way of how you're eating to lose weight, and it gets used to it. It needs a bit of a kick in the pants. It needs a wake-up call. The other thing that can be happening is looking at other areas that maybe have changed that you haven't recognized. I mean, sometimes with digestion or bowels, that can cause a setback. The other one is hormonal changes, particularly with cortisol. Suddenly you went into a period of time where you've been highly stressed or not sleeping well. Well, that will cause your weight to plateau. So it's looking at these factors and, just saying, okay, so what's going on here? Can I identify a reason why my body's not responding in the same way? What's changed? So the example I was going to mention is I just had a session with a client yesterday, a coaching session, and she'd been moving along quite well with her weight loss, but that previous week, like 4 or 5 days, it really had plateaued. And so we were going through everything, and her food was on track, and which makes it really discouraging when you're really sticking to a plan and you're not getting the results. And as I said with her, this was unusual to hit this kind of plateau. But as we were kind of going through it, and I'm asking her the questions to kind of identify what's happening, we discovered, yep, she was constipated, she had me. Also was highly stressed over the previous few days and hadn't been sleeping. So those are two very clear factors. So, you know, we sorted that out. You know, she made some of the changes I recommended, and like in 2 days, boom, down 3 pounds. So that's amazing. So it's just identifying, okay, what's going on with your body? What does it need? What do you need to change? And then put that into place. That's a form of a course correction. Now, as well, you can also have the mindset part of it. And this is often a very common one that can happen with people. So somehow this is more where they do go off track with their plan. And it starts with the mind. It's looking at, okay, so what's going on when you go, suddenly you find yourself not eating according to plan, looking at going, okay, what's happening here? Why am I not following through on what I know I need to do? Sometimes it's simply a change in routine. You've had a routine going, you're following your plan, and then there's been a change, and it's throwing you off kilter. So, for example, today, just this morning, I was messaging with one of my clients. You know, I have a digital app, right? So I'm also in touch with people digitally every day. And I'd noticed her pattern over the last 3-4 days had been a little up and down, just basically not making much progress. So, you know, I messaged her to say, what's happening? You know, your food, you know, is something off with your food? What's going on? And, you know, she said, yeah. She goes, you know, yeah. She goes, good call. She goes, I realized I had gotten off track because I changed my pattern with work. I wasn't prepping food the same way I was before, so I wasn't as prepared. And then she started reaching for stuff that, you know, wasn't really ideal to support her weight loss goal. So that one was pretty clear cut. Other times it can be other, you know, it's old cravings, old patterns, you know, people that are stress eaters, emotional eaters, things that come into their life, and that you never know when that's going to happen, right? It's just, but it's recognizing, okay, why did I reach for that, you know, that chocolate bar? What happened? What led to it? Okay, now you've identified it. Okay, how can I deal with this differently? So you're dealing with the mindset part of it. And often it can just be just losing track of the bigger picture. Why you want to do this. That's why the motivation, being deep-seated, very deep value-based motivation or purpose for losing weight, just sometimes we can lose sight of that. So it's reconnecting with that to help you get refocused and recommitted to the journey. So that's the mindset side of it. So basically, the whole point of this is just recognize setbacks can happen. The biggest thing that will make the difference in it not really derailing your whole progress is just the sooner you can see the setback, figure out why, and then get back on track as quickly as possible. Because often the weight loss can be a very emotional experience. And so often for a lot of people, if they have a setback, either they're not getting results or they've not eaten according to plan and their weight's going up, they can kind of throw up their hands and want to give up for a little bit, right? So, well, this day's a write-off or this week's a write-off, what the heck? You know, but then, you know, if that keeps happening, you're really never going to reach the goal that you want to reach. So the sooner you can just be more analytical, kind of go, okay, there's a reason for this, let me figure it out, and what are my strategies? And building a sort of a treasure chest of strategies to handle setbacks. Then you just know what you need to do and you put it into place. I know it's a little easier said than done, but just making that mind shift and just thinking of it as a course correction will help you a lot. The analogy I like to use is I've been using the sailing analogy. You know, it's like leaving port. You know where you want to go. Your goal is that island over there. You're motivated. You've got your navigation chart, meaning your plan to get there. Well, this is, imagine if you're sailing, you start going off track. First of all, recognizing you're going off track. Ideally, getting back, tacking the sails, doing what you have to do to get back on track sooner rather than later, so you're not, you know, really off track. That's basically what I'm talking about here. Just having the strategies, knowing what you need to do. How do I do this tack so I can get back on the path where I need to go? So it's going to keep me in the direction of my goal. Because you want to avoid, if you go way off track, it might be like, you know what, it's too much work to get back on track. I don't want to. I'm just going to settle. You know, you're not where you want to be, but you're willing to settle. Or, you know, you start going a full circle and you end up back in home port. So hopefully this motivates you, gives you some different way of perspective around how to deal with setbacks. It can be part of the journey. Just figure out the cause and then have strategies in place. that will help you, be it for your body, be it for your mind. This particularly applies for maintenance. It becomes very important there, having ways of course correction. And that's what I work with a lot of my clients, you know, when they're where they want to be. Okay, what do you do when you do kind of overindulge? How can you do a quick course correction? Be it, is it about the food? What does your body need? Is it a mindset correction? So to avoid old habits and things coming back into play. Same principles apply, just different phases when you're losing versus maintaining. So there you go. I hope that helps you out. Now, that's the sort of the 4 most common mistakes that I've covering this month. If you have been struggling and what you hear, you resonate, you recognize where you have your challenges, but you're really at a loss of how to kind of address it yourself, then please feel free to reach out to me. The best is to book a complimentary video phone consultation. It'll be with me, and from that I can learn more about you, what your challenges are, and we can see if, you know, how I approach weight loss and what my programs offer, it's a good fit for you, and if it's what you need to help you get from, you know, A to B. So please take the time to book that call. You can, there'll be a link here in the post. There's also on Instagram under my profile, there's a link. You can also go to my website, which is just my name, drcherbauvet.com, and on there's a link as well to book a call with me. It'd be great to help you out if you really want to lose weight and find here you are towards the end of January, you're not making much headway, then maybe now it's time to get a helping hand. Okay, so take care, and I will be back next month with more information.